Alright, here I am back with the Paradise Garage. I'm gonna take the plastic off the flywheel and you're soon gonna see what's inside this. So let's start with the flywheel. Someone likes plastic a lot. It's almost a bit kinky, if you ask me. And I guess it's rust protection. Been a little bit polished off since the last time we saw it. And yeah, we're going to put it this way. Yep. And then, I guess you all have already guessed it, Le Shaft de Crank. And we're going to start with putting the flywheel on the crank, since the crank makes flywheel. I'm going to put the flywheel on the crank as it becomes a nice little stand for our flywheel. Which is useful later on when we gonna make use of these and some brake cleaner. You think for a while, probably gonna figure it out. Right, hand tight for now. It's going to be tightened a bit more. Is this base and a pencil. So let me fetch the right bits for the crank bolts. Plenty of dirty little boxes. You see? I believe it's either one of these. I think it's the biggest. Bastard. Won't fit in there, but it won't. It will fit in a 10mm stuff. There you go. So let's put it around the other way again. Don't want it to wiggle. And of course, everything is dirty, even though it has been cleaned. You have it. Start the bear. Get the brake cleaner. And open this up. See what's the right size for this. That's good. Smallest one. Of course, a bit of grinding there. And it's stuck. Oh man, this is dirty. Dirty old man. other side here. More success here. See? Quite a bit of dirt. There you go. Not as bad as you might think, though. So what you do is you go through all of these a couple of times, because as you work, there's going to be more crud collecting in the different spots. Try to jam in the biggest brush you can everywhere, without leaving pieces of brush behind, of course. Good. Good. Hi again. I told you we're going to measure up the crank, and what we're going to do is we're going to measure the journals, both the main journals and the rod journals. So let's start. It's supposed to be 57 millimeter exactly. So I set my micrometer to 57 millimeters, and I'm going to try if it just slips over. Yeah. A little bit of resistance, very little. That means that it's exactly 57 millimeters. And I measure it in both directions. So I see that it's not oblong or oval. Cranks rarely get worn that way. But you never know. Since we are within 100 millimeter, that's really good. This crank is in pristine condition, and we of course measure up all journals. Work our way down. This journal, you see, have a groove in it. It's the oiling groove that you know, feed the crank with oil from the case in this way, And since the crank rotates and you only have like 2 holes, or is it 3? I can't remember. It's 3 holes. You have to have a sort of a slot here, a groove. So you have to measure both sides. I did the lower one first. I'll do it again. It's just fine. And that one is fine as well. And there we go. This crank is in really good condition. Also the intermediate drive, pretty much no wear at all, just a little bit polished, it worked fine. And also the drive for the distributor. This is brass, so it would probably be the first thing to wear, but this is just fine. It's gonna feel 100% tight when the engine is together. The only wear you can see at all is from the seal. Now that isn't so strange, because at this end you get a little bit of dirt and stuff coming in here, but the wear is so minimal that it's not going to be an issue. Alright, we're back, and now all the rods have the new bearings put inside, and they are torqued to spec. That is 20 Newton meters and another 90 degrees after that. So here they are, and now we're going to measure the clearance. You remember we used this to measure the crank, or rather one of these. The journals for the rods are actually the same measurements as the main journals. It's not very common actually. And they were all exactly 57 millimeters, within 100 of a millimeter, so the crank is in excellent shape. Here in Sweden it's really warm today. Thank God for low alcohol beer, otherwise I think I would go mad. We have this. Borrowed this from my brother. And we have our dial bore gauge. Maybe you remember how we set it up. To get it in long enough to get support here, but far enough out to actually handle what we're doing. And we need to put a pin in here that sets our value, or our what do you say, our range. This one is 55 millimeter, and then we're going to need a bit of let's see here, one of these with shims. And this has to be 2 millimeters, since what we are measuring is approximately 57 millimeters, or rather exactly if you ask me, but this is how it goes. Whoops, it didn't roll off the table. So now this part is set to 57 millimeters, and we're going to put it in a little tiny little vise here. What is it he says? Abe, keep your dick in a vise. Doesn't mean you stick it in there. So we take our micrometer that we used to measure the crank and stick it in on there, and that should be our 0. So we turn this to show 0 when we're on, there we go. It's not that easy to keep it absolutely straight. Yep, 0. So we're measuring each and every one. We know all the journals of the crank were exactly 57 millimeters. So yep, 700ths millimeter. So just make sure they're round. 700ths. directions. You're looking at the dial here. Yeah, 700s. I guess that's the goal, to get 700s. Yep, 700s in both directions.